my baby Tropicana. The way you move your body nice, are you from Ghana? If you be home, let's believe that I'm a farmer. Your body's going. It's the shooting count. Tropicana, baby, oh. No, I know.
If it's sparks, then it's gotta
be.
Oh,
baby, papa, la Miami, yeah.
So for this tutorial, you'll be needing a chalk, pins, your ruling tape, your measuring tape, and then your scissors. Also, most importantly, your sewing machine. And these are the body block you need to make a palazzo trouser. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing today? Hope you guys are having a great week already. So today's tutorial, I'll be showing you on how to achieve a palazzo trouser. These are the body parts you need to measure out first, then chalk them down on your fabric. So yeah, you need to know your waist points, you need to know your hip points, you need to know your crotch points. Your crotch points is where your round lap sits in. You also need to know the length of the palazzo, how long you want your palazzo to be. So after knowing your points, the next thing for you to do is to take round measurement of those points: round waist, round hip, round lap. Round crotch point is where your round lap sits in, and then your round base sits on your length. Yeah, so after doing that, after taking these body parts, after chalking them down on your fabric, the next thing for you to do is to determine your folding. Yeah, so determine your folding. This is your round lap divided by 2 plus 3 inches sewing allowance. You guys, you can decide to add 4 inches sewing allowance, 5, 6, depending on how full or how wide you want your palazzo to be. Once we have all that sorted out, the next thing for me to do is to fold out my fabric to the folding we got and then start taking points. The first point is our waist points. So the next point for me to chalk down is the hip points and then my crotch points. After that, I'll be taking my length. The length is how long I want my palazzo to be. So after doing that, I'll be chalking this down also at the middle to get a straight line. You guys, assuming I was making a boot cut or a straight trouser, I'll be chalking down my new point after my crotch points. But this is a palazzo, so there is no need for new points. So using my ruler, I'll be connecting this line together to get a straight line. Now 1.5 inch on the waist point before chalking down my actual measurement on the waist point. You guys, that 1.5 inch has nothing to do with our measurement. This is for shaping allowance. This is just our shaping allowance. So that is done. I'll be putting down whatever number I get after dividing my round waist into 4 on my waist point. Doing the same on my hip points, I'll be chalking down that. I'll be chalking that down, my round hip divided by 4. I'll be chalking down the number there. And then for my round lap, I'll be dividing this into 2, not 4. My round lap into 2, chalking that down on my crotch points. After that is done, I'll be adding 1/2 inch on the waist point, and then on my hip point too, I'll be adding 1/2 inch too. But on the crotch points where I have my round lap, I'll be adding 2 inches sewing allowance, you guys. My ruler, I'll be connecting the waist to the hip. From where we have the 1.5 inch, I'll be connecting that from that point to the hip, and then on the other side, I'll be connecting my waist to the hip. And using a curve, I'll be connecting the crotch points to the hip. So once all that is done, the next thing for us to do is to determine the midpoint of this trouser so it can sit well on you. You have to determine the hip midpoint of the trouser. So achieving that, I'll be using my tape to calculate whatever number I have on my crotch points, and then I'll divide that number by 2. After dividing that number by 2, I'll be chalking that down on the length of my palazzo trouser. I'll be chalking that down on the length of my palazzo trouser. And so once I get my midpoint, I'll be dividing my round base by 2 and then chalking that down to on the length side by side, because I already know my midpoint. I'll be chalking that down side by side. So assuming my midpoint is 7, after chalking 7, I'll be dividing my round base by 2. My round base is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So side by side, I'll be taking 6 this side, 6 this side. Using my ruler, I'll be connecting all points together. From my crotch points, I'll be connecting to my length. And then on the other side too, I'll be doing the same. And then once all that is done, I'll be going in with my scissors and cutting this out. This is the front piece of our palazzo, you guys. So yeah, we are close to achieving this already. This is the front piece of the palazzo. Piece is being splitted into 2. So on the wrong side of the fabric, I'll be writing down F1 and F2. Yeah, you guys, you'll find out when we're about to join. I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Folding out a fresh fabric, this is going to be the back piece of our palazzo, you guys. So yeah, make sure that when folding out your back piece, the second piece of this palazzo, when folding it out, you fold out extra, because we'll be chalking down 1.5 inch on all measurements. After placing the front piece of my palazzo on this freshly folded fabric, I'm making sure that all ends are equal. I'll be chalking down 1.5 inch on all measurements, from the waist point to my hip point to the crotch point down to the length. I'll be chalking down 1.5 inch, and then using my ruler, I'll be connecting these points together. Get to the crotch point. After checking that 1.5 inch, I'll be using my chalk to connect the front, from the front piece to the back piece. I'll be making sure that this sits the same. Like I'll be making a straight line from the crotch point, from the front piece to the back piece, or straight line. You guys, this have to sit well. It has to sit together, because any mistake, this palazzo won't be sitting right. So I'll be making sure it sits like it goes straight to the back piece on the same line, and then I'll be connecting these lines together. You guys, when making a palazzo, or when making trousers, skirts, anything you're making, once you are able to get your front piece, getting your back piece is very easy. Most times you just have to add like probably 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2.5 inch to this, and then you just trace the exact thing out. You trace the back piece out from the front piece. my scissors, I'll be tracing out the back piece of our palazzo out. So yeah, we're almost done, we're almost there. So once I trace out the back piece of this palazzo, the next thing for us to do is to join this whole 4 different parts together to get a whole trouser, a whole palazzo. So we'll be joining after cutting this out. So before we go to the machine to sew, before I go to my sewing machine, I'll be writing on the wrong side of the back piece 2. I'll be writing B1 back piece 1 and then B2 on this, and then this is how we are going to be joining this together. Lest I forget, I'll be putting a dart on the front piece of this palazzo. So yeah, dropping my back piece aside, and then working on the front piece. I'll be going down by 1.5 inch, and then I'll be going in by 3.5 inches. Using the curve, I'll be connecting these points together, point 1 to point 2, and then using my scissors, I'll be cutting this out. This is how you put a dart on palazzo, you guys. Very easy. This is how I'll be joining this palazzo together. I'll be joining the B1 to the F2, and then I'll be joining the F1 to the B2. You guys, this is why I was, writing on the wrong side. I was writing B1, B2, F1, F2, because I wanted you guys to see how I joined my palazzo together. So yes, this is it. On this side, I'll be joining that in by 1 inch. And then on the other side, on where the crotch point is, as you can see where the crotch point is, I'll be joining that in by 1/2 inch. So yeah, taking this to my machine, I'm done joining the one of the back piece to one of the front piece, and this is how it looks. Like I said, I sewed this part in by 1 inch. And then on the crotch point side, the side where they have the crotch point, I sewed that in by 1/2 inch. You guys, on one of the sides of the palazzo, I sewed that in with like a loose stitch to 9 inches. To 9, that is my hip point. Where my hip point is located, I stopped there because I'll be ripping that off. I'll be opening that side to place my zip. That's where my zip is going to be sitting on. So I sewed it in with a loose stitch. Yeah. Machine to join, I'll be joining these 2 different parts to get the whole palazzo, you guys. So when joining, make sure from the crotch point of point 1 and point 2 sits together. Make sure they both lap together, and then join by 1/2 inch. Yeah, this is my machine. I'm using a manual machine, butterfly. So please do let me know if you want me to make a video on how to use this machine to sew, or not to make a video on it. Please, so do let me know in the comment section below if you want to see me make a video of how to use this machine to sew. So yeah, moving on, I'll be joining these 2 points together. So after joining those 2 different parts together, this is how it looks. We have a whole full palazzo, you guys. So the next thing for us to do now is to attach a band to this, and afterward a zip. So yeah, the side I sewed in with a loose stitch, I'll be ripping that off now. I went ahead to cut out the band for this palazzo. So for the length of my band, I added just 3 inches to my round waist. My round waist is 30. I added 3 inches to it, and that's 33. So the length of this band right now is 33. As for the width of my band is 5. Yeah, I did 5 because I want my band to be 2 inches wide, and then the half inches left, I've ironed this in already. This is where I'll be joining the palazzo from, and then at the other end is where I'll be closing the band from. Using my pins, I'll be showing you how I attach the band to my palazzo. The right side of the band faces the wrong side of the palazzo. That is how I attach. For the next part of this video, you guys, I'll be advising you to watch carefully. sewing that part, the next thing for us to do is to close this end. This is this end and that end. Yeah, after closing it, I'll be flipping this over and then matching the front. On the front side of the band, I'll be matching this to my palazzo like this. You guys watch carefully, please, I advise you to watch carefully. That is done. Yeah, this is my palazzo with the band attached to it. You guys, we are almost done. The last thing for us to do is to attach the zip to this palazzo and then hem the base of the palazzo. So this is how I attach my zip to the palazzo. You guys, please just watch carefully. I don't think there's any way I can explain this for you to understand rather than you just watching and then seeing how I achieve this.
Now you are wanting for the rainy day.
Palazzo is ready for me to slay. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate. Please do let me know in the comment section below if this video was helpful, and also if you'd like to see a video on how I made this matching top I'm wearing with the palazzo. Thank you guys for sticking with me from the beginning to the end of this video. I love you so much. Bye bye.